Hi classmates, my name is Mindy Gower and this is my special education interview for EDL 853 Module 3. Throughout this Google Slides presentation, I will provide you all with a reflection over the answers that my three participants gave me over a variety of questions that deal with special education. Throughout the slides, you will notice that sometimes they answered very similarly and sometimes their answers could not be more different, and so that was very interesting to see. So let's jump right in. The first question that I asked dealt with child find procedures. The special education teacher that I interviewed was a 3rd through 5th grade special education teacher, just to give you a little background knowledge on her. Once I asked her about child find procedures, she wanted to let me know that a majority of the child find procedures go through the co-op that does most of our special education hiring and special education finding and things like that. That doesn't mean that they don't take part in the finding, but she just wanted to let me know that a majority does go through the co-op. She told me that they advertise through the health department, they advertise through preschools, websites, social media, stuff like that. And that definitely goes in comparison with what my school administrator said as well. They go through social media, the Kid Link through DSNWK, websites, preschools, health departments, things like that. And so those were very comparable answers. And then when I asked my paraprofessional about it, who also works with 3rd through 5th graders, she just said that she wasn't involved with this aspect of special education, which I understood. The next question is what they find to be the most challenging part of their role with regards to special education and why. So this was a question that kind of took my special education teacher a little bit longer to answer, just because she has had a rough start to this year. So I think that kind of affected her answer a little bit, just because she has a very high caseload. She has almost 24 students now, and so it's been very, very hard for her to schedule with all the general education teachers and everything like that so that all of the students' needs can be met. It's very sad that we know that the numbers of special education students are increasing, but yet we still can't find the funding to get even more paras, let alone another special education teacher. The administrator said the most challenging part of her role with regards to special education is that there's no funding. Like I said, we can barely get enough funding for paras, and we need another teacher. Paras would be nice, more paras would be nice, but ultimately we need another special education teacher. Another thing that she said is very challenging for her is the rules and regulations changing, and referrals for the students going into SPED is increasing, which, like I said, that is why we need more paras and things like that, but it all just kind of goes in a domino effect. The paraprofessional said that her most challenging part is the lack of training. She doesn't feel like she has enough training, and I feel like she's very trained for her aspect of her job. She just doesn't feel like she has enough, which I do understand that too. But she also said that sometimes she feels like she's too involved or she's not being involved enough. So I kind of asked her to go a little bit further with that, and she said that sometimes she feels like she's getting way too involved in a child's life and wants to do so much for them, and then sometimes it's vice versa. She's not getting involved with them enough. So she just really wants to find that happy medium. The next question is, what is the most rewarding part of their job? I really liked this question because I just saw their faces glow. They lit up when I asked this question, and it was a lot easier for them to answer. I asked the special education teacher, and she said, watching the kids get excited when they finally learn what they have been trying to learn for a really long time. And she just lit up, and she told me a story about one of the times that she really saw this happening. The administrator said that her most rewarding part is when students in the program are making gains and when students exit the program. The paraprofessional said once the students get a grasp on something, but she also said that she really likes the appreciation part. She said that a lot of her students that she helps are very appreciative, so that was awesome to hear. When I compared these answers, they all were very similar. Like, they all understand and they all really think that the rewarding part of their job is seeing when kids make connections. So I really, really enjoyed those answers. What advice did they have on supervision of special education staff, including para, speech path, and etc.? So once I talked to the special education teacher about this, she said that she wants specific directions and expectations so that they know what they're doing. They want meetings throughout the year. They all want to be on the same page. They also want a great relationship with the building principal and everything like that, which I really do understand. A great relationship could really take the special education role to the next level. The administrator said to get in the classroom and see them in action. So she really wants to like be in the room and see how they're doing and see what advice they can provide and things like that. Even though that our staff is hired through the special education co-op, we still do help with the evaluation. So going in and seeing what's going on is something that's really going to benefit not only you and seeing what they're doing, but benefit the teacher as well, the special education teacher, because you can offer them advice and see how they're doing and what else they can do to improve their instruction. The paraprofessional said the advice that they have would be for more feedback and just like acknowledgement that they're doing good at what they're doing. The next question was, how do they work effectively with parents of special needs? So the special education para said that effective communication would look like talking to them face to face and meeting with them or talking with them over email or social media or seesaw, things like that. Just over communicating, making sure that they know all the details and making sure that they feel involved. And so she also said that she, along with effectively communicating with the parents, she also feels like that she is the support system for the parents so that they have resources to draw upon and that they have someone to talk to even when they're going through hard times with their special needs child. She feels like she can really support them. The administrator also said to communicate. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Communication is key. They really want to let the parent know that they are involved in every aspect of their child's learning. They said that they are sympathetic and to be sympathetic. Know their child's needs, but also know their needs and how they're going to react. Show improvement, okay? So this is what really blew my mind. My administrator said show improvement not just from what they're doing now, but from year to year. Don't compare it to the other students in their class. Compare it from where their child was to where their child is now. So that's something that my administrator does, and that's something that the parents are really liking. She also said that she challenges both the parents and the students, and that's something that I really want to remember while I grow into being an administrator. And then the paraprofessional said that she doesn't work with parents individually, but when she gets to see the parents come into the school, for example, she obviously talks to them, but doesn't meet with them individually. The next question was, how do they work with regular ed teachers with students with special needs? So the special education teacher said that they share schedules, they work together, they work around changes. They're just overall very flexible, which is what needs to happen, especially with the caseload that our special education teacher has right now. And then she also says that she's available for questions and support, which is very, very true. I've asked her over 100 questions this semester. The administrator says that they work with regular teachers by getting them informed of the goals on the IEP and getting the special education teacher and the regular teacher on the same page, knowing that, or keeping the needs of the student in mind. The paraprofessional says that they work with regular teachers by doing pretty much what they're told. They want to be utilized everywhere, and that's what she said. She just wants to be utilized in every aspect of the classroom as long as it's helping the special needs child. What advice do they have for a first year administrator? Whenever I get advice from people, I really do take it to heart just because I want to be the best that I can be. And so the special education said to offer support and to value your staff, and that will take you a long way. And so I'm honestly going to take that and roll with it. I'm going to do that as a first year administrator. The administrator said to educate yourself about special education law. Get to know as much as you can because you can never know enough. Listen to your staff, encourage open communication between the general education teacher, the special education teacher, and yourself as an administrator, and ask for advice. The paraprofessional said get to know your staff. So this is in regards to special education. She said get to know your staff, like what can the special education teacher do that the general education teacher can't do so that they can come together to meet the needs of the students. And she also said acknowledge your staff and students. How do they describe the role of special education teacher and the building principal? So this was a very descriptive question, I guess. So I didn't ask it in the way that I should have. I said, how do they describe the role of a special education teacher and the building principal, and they didn't do them together. So then I kind of had to reword some of their questions, or reword some of their answers, if that makes sense. However, the special education teacher did a great job of answering it. The special education teacher said that the SPED teacher and the building principal are similar because they both supervise, they both schedule, and they both do a tremendous amount of paperwork. My administrator said that they both need to have strong knowledge of special education laws, which is very true, and they both need to know the personal goals of each child that is in the special education program so that their needs are always met. And they are both very, very supportive. The paraprofessional said to have a great understanding of the special education laws and to provide support. The last question was, what characteristics do they seek in aspiring administrators with regards to special education? The special education teacher said that to have out-of-the-box thinking, understand the law, be collaborative, and to definitely have people skills, which is a very important skill. The administrator said to be a lifelong learner, to keep continuing to learn even when it's exhausting sometimes, just to never stop learning. Be responsive, understand, be fair, be responsible, and be an exceptional leader. The paraprofessional said to be caring, understanding, hardworking, and fearless. When I compare these answers, I can see that they all seek pretty much the same characteristics in aspiring administrators. Overall, this was a great module for me to complete. I learned a lot that I will be able to take with me as I grow into an administrator. Thank you.